All right, folks, John Rush here. Today, my son Richard Rush behind the camera. This is a review of the 2016 Rav4 Limited. Now, we have done several Rav4s in the past, different trim levels. We've done the hybrid version. This is the full-bore Limited. Won't be as long of a review because we've done several Rav4s already this year. You're welcome to go back, look at some of those reviews. But let's just get right into it. This, again, is the 2016 Rav4 Limited. 2016, they did a little bit of restyling changes. You'll notice the front end, little bit different, more masculine. It just got a tougher stance, I guess you could say, a bolder stance to it. I like the looks of the car, frankly. I think they did a great job on the restyle. Really looks good. It's got a nice bold stance to it. Love the way they did the back end. You know, they got rid of, in the last generation, you had the spare tire on the back, no longer back here. Much easier to get in and out of the back hatch, which I'll show you here in just a minute. So some specifics on this particular model that we're driving. Sticker price, $37,356. Keep in mind that is for the full bore limited version of the RAV4. How many versions are there? Let me just get into this real quick. There is the LE, the XLE, the SE, and the Limited, all in a non-hybrid version. When you go to the hybrid, you get an XLE and a Limited only. That's the only way the hybrids come. So this particular vehicle here, some of the options are, for $1,400, you get the Advanced Tech Package, which has a ton in it. I'll just give you some of the highlights. It gives you bird's eye view camera for the perimeter of the vehicle itself, the Intune Premium JBL system. You get the advanced voice recognition, hands-free phone capability, all the music streaming, etc. 3-month complimentary Sirius XM. You know, a lot of great features with the vehicle. That's in that $1,400 advanced tech package. This also has a VIP security system, the clear bra, which was on the front, which is really hard to see, the mud guards, the remote start, and a couple other small things, which again takes it up to $37,000. Now, some are going to say, gosh, John, that's a lot of money for a RAV4. Yeah, it is. But fortunately, you don't have to spend that much money on a RAV4 if you don't want to. You can buy a RAV4 in the low to mid 20s if you'd like, depending upon how you want to equip it. So this again is the limited version, all-wheel drive, which again adds some price to the car also, and they come with a front-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive version. So let's just do this. We'll get right into the back. It does have an automatic hatch on this particular model, which I do enjoy. The seats do fold down. In fact, Richard, if you want, I'll just drop the seat down here real quick. And if the seat was a little further forward, this would drop all the way down. In fact, let me just do that. I'll just put this seat up. And once it goes down, you could move this back some, but you'll notice fairly flat floor. There is a little bit of a hump right here. Not too bad. 60-40 split in the seats. Rear leg room, which I'll get into in just a minute as I sit in at 37.2 inches. Cargo room back here. With the seats up, 38.4 cubic feet, 73.4 with them folded down. As you can see, really roomy back end. It's fairly squared off, so you can put fairly tall items in here. I mean, a lot of the SUVs will have quite a bit of a slope to them, which really cuts into the cargo capacity. Not so much on RAV4. Rear hatch, just the spare tire, but you could put some things down inside there to store to get out of the way. We always say, you know, snow brushes, med kits, flashlights, things like that could all go down in there. Again, really roomy on the back end. I love the automatic hatch, by the way, so that part I really like. I hate having to manually do the hatches. I just guess we get so used to driving a lot of the premium cars where the hatch goes up and down and we climb in one and it's not there. It's sort of like, why isn't that there? If you can do it on a RAV4, you can pretty much do it on any vehicle. Climbing in the back seat. Again, this seat is set for about a 5'10", 5'11" person. I've got a foot of room between me and the seat in front of me. I almost bought this particular car for my wife this last go around. I bought a different vehicle instead, but this was at the top of our list. Really came down to this and one other vehicle. And I will tell you, she's driving a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and as far as the back seat is concerned, this vehicle has more room in the back seat than her Grand Cherokee does. Cargo room is about the same. It's a little bit smaller overall vehicle, but they've done such a great job of positioning everything inside that, honestly, this car works well. The only downside to this vehicle that I've seen, this particular model does have the sunroof, It's not a big deal for me. It is a little bit tight though. If you've got somebody that's fairly tall, you'll notice this big hump in here. It comes back up for where the passengers are at, but getting in and out, this particular area right in here is just a little bit lower. Just something to keep in mind. There is a center console in the back here that folds down along with the seat. Not a really big deal. I'll jump in the front. I'll put Richard over on the side. We'll go take a quick drive and we'll finish up the review on the 2016 RAV4 Limited. All right, folks, now moving into the front seat. One thing I always forget to mention, and some of you reviewers have reminded me of this, the back seat in the RAV4, it does have adjustability to it, so it doesn't necessarily recline, you know, a ton, but it does have the ability to position the back, you know, the back seat, the back part as you would like, much like the front seats do. Again, sunroof in this vehicle, open it up. It's not a huge panoramic sunroof, but it is nice to have. That's an item. You'll have to decide whether that works for you or not. The Limited does come with what they call the soft tech seats. These are not leather. This is a material that looks very, very much like leather. It's throughout the cabin. You can see it on the door panels. You can see it on the dash. They've done a really nice job. And I will say, as far as the layout of this car is concerned, really, really nice. The only downside to this vehicle that I noticed driving it this last time, and I don't think I've mentioned this in reviews before, you can stick your phone up right down here, which is fine, and it works great that way. If I lay it down here, and I've got an iPhone Plus, 6 Plus, the smaller phones, they would fit in this tray just fine. The 6 Plus does not fit in the tray. That is one downside to it, because if you go around a corner too fast, believe it or not, it will slide and just end up right on the floor. So I had to remember to always put my phone upright, otherwise it goes sliding off. So just something to keep in mind. Not a real big deal. These two front seats in this particular model are heated. That does have an eco mode to it. And mileage, I wasn't paying attention to, Richard, but I'm guessing it's high 20s. What were you getting, 27, yeah, 28?
Yep, I think 28, 29 right in there.
Okay, 28, 29, and honestly, if you drive it right, 30. We have actually gotten 30 miles to the gallon in this car in the past, non-hybrid version, so that part is really, really a great feature. One of the things that they did in this particular model when they redid the RAV4, took away the V6 option. I've heard complaints from folks, even on the radio show that we do on Saturdays, that, geez, why'd they do away with the V6? That was a great option. Frankly, when you get in this vehicle, you drive it with the 4-cylinder, even at our elevation, honestly, it works fantastic. It works fabulous. High fuel economy. Power is fine. Honestly, you really don't need the V6 anymore. They've done such a great job of making this 4-cylinder, you know, have enough horsepower and output. And this does have one thing I should mention too, because its competitors, not all of them offer this, but this particular vehicle has a regular 6-speed automatic transmission. A lot of the competitors are going to have a CVT transmission. Some folks like CVTs, some don't. For example, you go buy a Honda CR-V, you're getting a CVT transmission. There's no option for a regular 6-speed manual. So those of you looking for a regular, you know, 6-speed, not manual, but a 6-speed automatic transmission, those of you looking for that type of transmission, you've got to get into a RAV4, because a lot of the competitors do a CVT only. Now, that's not all competitors. You'll have to do your own research and figure that out, but I do know for sure RAV4, CVT only. So just something to consider. I'll put Richard in the back seat. We'll go take a spin in the 2016 RAV4 Limited. All right, folks, going to take a drive now and show you a couple of the features on the 2016 RAV4 Limited. One thing I need to correct that Richard just said, and rather than me edit it out of the video, is I said a moment ago, RAV4 CVT only. I didn't mean that. What I meant was Honda CR-V CVT transmission only is what I meant to say a moment ago. So please don't crucify me for saying that. I meant to say CVT in the CR-V only. So panoramic cameras, we talked about that being an option on this particular model vehicle. So you push the button, and I know it's a little bit hard to see, but there's a panoramic view of the vehicle all around. If I put it in reverse, you get the dynamic grid lines, tells us where we're at. I can park, I go back up, I can hit the camera button again, and I can see exactly where I am up against the curb, what's around me. It's great the way they've used the software and the cameras that are on the car to determine what's around you. Really a great feature for those of you that are, well, really this applies to anybody. You can see if there's a bicycle behind you, is there kids playing around you, maybe you're pulling out in a school area and you really want to know what's going on around you. You can hit that button first before you ever take off and really see what's all around the vehicle to make sure things are safe. And it's really a great way for you guys to avoid accidents. And I hate to say this, but a lot of children each year are killed from literally people backing over them because people don't know there's a child or something behind them, especially in these SUVs where you've got a higher level of view. You can't see somebody that's down on like a tricycle or a small bike. Things like that, you just can't see them behind you. This gives you the ability literally to see everything that's around you and just avoid some of those accidents. So those of you, especially with small kids, or you live in a neighborhood, if things are tight, apartment complexes, what have you, this is a great feature. Frank, that's a great feature for anybody, because anytime you want to hop in the car, hit it, you just know it's automatically around you. Great feature. Take a drive now in the 2016 RAV4. Again, this is the limited version. Very luxurious interior. Toyota, you did a great job on it. It's extremely quiet on the interior. That part I really enjoyed. I'm going to shut this to help our lighting a little bit. Again, great car. It drives well. I talked a moment ago. Power band in this 4-cylinder is more than enough, even at our elevation up here in the Mile High City. It works fabulous. This car's a home run. Like I told you guys earlier in the review, about a year and a half ago, it was our top 2 choices, and I should say my wife's top 2 choices was RAV4, Grand Cherokee. Between the two, and frankly, the only reason we went with the Grand Cherokee over the RAV4 was just the fact that it's just got a little bit more off-road capability to it. It does have a little bit more power with the V6, the Pentastar V6. Outside of that, though, that was the only reason we went with the Grand Cherokee. Everything else internally, this car works fantastic, and you know, it just looks good. It performs well. It works good. And what I would recommend that you do is go out and drive one. Get yourself behind the wheel. Spend some time in it. Don't do the 10-minute test drive. Really get behind the wheel. See how it functions. See if you fit inside of it with you and your family. How you're going to actually use the vehicle. You can do that by going to your local Toyota dealer. And when you do that, please tell them you heard them on Drive Radio.